All right, we're gonna solve this equation, and the first thing we need is for it to equal 0. So that means I'm gonna zero out this -7 just to start out. And of course, we'll use the principle of equality. We'll just add 7 to itself right there, and then if I do it to one side, I gotta do it to the other side. So this is gonna bring down our equal sign. -7 plus 7 is 0, just like we planned, and that's what we want. And then we'll just drop the x squared and also the -5x, and then we'll show the +7. Of course, the +7 is not a like term with the other two terms, so we have to keep it the way that it is. Now, if we can use factoring, that means that I have to find two factors of 7 that add up to the middle coefficient, which is -5. So right now I got a +7, and factors of +7 are going to be either 1 or 7, or -1 and -7. But as we can see, if we were to add these together, either set, you either get 8 or you get a -8 right there. Okay, so we can't get a -5 sum from the two-factor pairs of 7 right there, which means that right now we have what we would consider a prime quadratic that cannot be factored. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't solve it. And based on where we're at in Math 1010 and the questions that you guys have asked, which is where this came from, this means that we should be able to use the quadratic formula. So we'll remember that the quadratic formula is going to be b plus or minus, so let's show this, b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. But we will have a chance to just take these variables here, or coefficients and constants, and just replace them in there. Now, we're going to do this twice because, of course, in the calculator, we don't have both of those functions, like a plus and minus function. So here I'm going to show the subtraction, and then we're also going to be showing the addition over here. But I am going to let, so there's, where's that? We got a minus, and then we got a plus, right? So I'm going to let the calculator do the work for me as I go through this. Oh, I did forget it's a -b, right? I may have forgotten that before. Just in case I didn't, we're going to have a -b, which is -5, so it's -5. And then we also have the we have the b squared, which is -5 there, squared. Okay, our a is a -1, so it's -4 times a, which is 1. And then in the denominator, it's 2 times a, and a is 1. And then multiplied by c inside that radical right there. And we know that the c value is 7. Okay? And now we'll put these into the other quadratic formula over here. Again, it's more like a comma between these. It's not an ordered pair, it's just that it gives us a second answer because of this plus sign right there. So let's go ahead and fill those in. And at this point, again, we should be able to plug these into the calculator and solve. Now, the problem with this is that what we're going to get inside of this square root. So let's just take this. This is our determinant, right? And let's just go and solve through this. So we'll do this in orange. -5 times -5 is going to be 25. And then 4 times 1 is, well, 4. And then times the 7 there is 28. And so I end up with the square root of 25 minus 28, which is the square root of these two, -3. So to show this, let's go ahead and simplify these two. So again, this -3 is why we cannot put this into the calculator, right? And we can see from the -5s, both of these over here, we're going to have positives. So we end up with 5. First up, we're going to have minus the square root of -3, which we've already seen because we've already done that work. And in the denominator, we have 2 times 1, which is 2. Now, we're going to get the same thing over here with this one. The only difference is that it's now plus. 5 plus the square root of -3 all over 2. Now, to simplify this, what we don't want is this negative on the inside of that radical, or part of the radicand. And so that's what we're going to do next, is we're going to pull that out and hopefully remember those complex numbers. There we go. As we go through this, so again, I'm just going to kind of fill in some of the blanks here. We're still going to have minus and then plus over here, and it's still going to be 5 minus and then 5 plus. But once again, the negative, which I will show here in purple, I'm going to pull out as an I an imaginary number. And then we've got still the square root of 3 on the inside. Okay, now this is my two answers that I need out of this. There's no way to simplify this any further. I can't simplify the 2 with the 5 and the 3, the square root of 3. You can put this part in the calculator now to see if it will simplify that for you. And I do recommend that you do that, but that's all we have from this one. So this one is complete.